if you're asked for the degree of a polynomial, you compare the degrees that you have. This one is a 2, this one is a 1, and this one is a 0, and you choose the largest one. 2 is the degree. Okay? 2 is the degree. Okay? After all the like terms have been collected, you identify the largest degree. Okay? Example 4. Add two polynomials. Okay. Okay. The critical thing you all need to remember is that if you make a small error, you will tank yourself. Okay? You have to make sure that what you write is what's in the book, and that is my biggest mistakes that I've always made. Okay? So it says to add this to x squared y 3y cubed and a negative 4. Okay? Since we are adding, all we have to do is look for like terms and combine them, right? So first I'm going to combine these guys. Now you can stack it up, down if you like if you were doing a regular old arithmetic problem. Or you can list them since we're adding and simply combine them. 3x squared y combining with 1x squared y is 4x squared y. I cross them off as I go so that I don't make a mistake. Can we combine the xy squareds with anything? Nope. Cross it off. Can we combine our y cubes?
Yes.
Yes, sir. And our negative 4 stands alone. There's your combination. Okay? Looking at negatives and positives, obviously if this was a negative, we would have put a negative. If this was a positive 3 and this was a negative 1, that would have been a 2 instead of a 4. Okay? In example 2, they show you how you can line it up and add up and down. You guys see that in solution 2 there under example 4? Yes, Seth?
The 2y cubed is negative.
2y cubed is negative. So see how I made a mistake there? The 2y cubed is negative, and that should be a 2, not a 3. So that y cubed and that y cubed means that disappears. No, one of them is a 3. 3 y to the third, positive y to the third. All right, so that should have ended up being that. Okay, again, copying error, bad news. Okay, thank you. Stacking them up, down is also helpful if you want to do that. Example 5, subtracting negative a squared minus 5ab plus 4b squared minus 2 is being subtracted from 3a squared minus 2ab minus 2b squared minus 7. Notice how they wrote that. This is being removed from that. Okay? Now, the easiest way I find to do a subtraction problem, like I showed you guys over there, when you put a negative in front of parentheses, it makes everything its opposite. Okay? So, in order to remove something, I need to flip all the terms within and then combine. Okay? So, in order to remove something, you add its opposite, right? Do you guys remember learning that? Subtraction is adding the opposite. So let's add the opposite of everything that we have. Okay? So now I've changed all the signs of the second of the set of numbers that they said are being subtracted from the above. Remember, subtract means add the opposite. Okay? So we're going to do that. 3a squared minus a negative a squared becomes add a positive. Negative 2ab minus a negative 5ab became add the opposite. Negative 2b squared minus a positive 4b squared became add the opposite. Negative 7 minus a negative 2 became negative 7 plus 2. Okay, add the opposite. Okay, add the opposite. Okay, that's example 5. I want to practice a few more subtracting because I think you guys know how to add. You just combine like terms of all of it. But subtract. What if I said subtract that from okay. So I am removing this from this. Which item goes on the top? The second one. All right. So I am going to pull this underneath that as a subtraction problem, and I'm going to line them up under the ones they are like. So this is here, 2x squared. This is here, negative y squared. Now that I have lined them up, I haven't flipped the signs yet, I am going to add the opposite of what they were. Okay? You must do that step. If you don't, the mistakes will fly. Now, column, add them up. 3x squared, nothing to do with the 7xy, and 1y squared. It's the end result. Okay? Subtract means add the opposite. Write the problem and then change the subtract to add the opposite. Think about it this way, guys. 6 minus 4. Both of those numbers are positive, right? 6 minus 4. Both of those numbers are positive. Instead of subtracting 4, we can think of it as adding the opposite. Okay? Think of it as adding the opposite. A 6 and a negative 4, and you still get that positive 2. But back in middle school or grade school, you weren't taught to think of positives and negatives that way. Okay? All right? I feel that the subtracting problems are the ones that people struggle with the most. So make sure you are doing those correctly. Now, listen, I'm not done with you yet. For today,